Hey everybody, thanks so much for coming on board. Today's the day. It is a Wednesday. We lose track of time here. In a nutshell, we have reality TV right now. My phone's going on. So in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, hi, I'm Elamba, I'm the Pajama Mama. You know me as how I make money in my PJs from the comfort of my home and even while I'm sleeping. And Sureshs will agree with me that that's the life that we love to live. And we want to share with you information. I interview typical moms and dadpreneurs that are making between 5, 6, 7 incomes on a yearly basis, and they've been successful in this industry. And they want to show you, simply put, how you can do it too. And with that in mind, today's show, we have Suresh May. He's written several best-selling books. In addition to that, he's just known as a marketing expert, genius, guru, all those titles and above. He's achieved massive success in helping launch various products that has done 7 figures. And then in addition to that, oh, my son just gave me the go ahead that we're doing live and we're on point. And in addition to that, just recently he was sharing with me that he helped a client of his, basically completely a newbie in social media marketing. And he set up her first webinar and she made $5,000 on her first gig online. And that's with her own social media. So can you imagine if he starts there, where he's going to take her in the not too distant future, and also what he may be able to do for you and your business in the near future. But for right now, Suresh, you know our game plan of action. We want to know, first and foremost, what made you want to become a dadpreneur?
Well, I always, like I was telling you before we started, I didn't know I wanted to be an entrepreneur. When I was younger, I didn't have any entrepreneurial examples. I didn't really know anybody who was a business owner. But I became very clear on what I did not want to do before I had any idea like what the goal was. And so growing up with a single parent mom, my mom, she typically would work 1 job, long hours, or 2 jobs. And she was never really home. And I remember just early on in elementary school, like she would leave me instructions and directions on what to do for the meal for the night, or what time I had to get my sister and I in bed and up in the morning. And it instilled a sense of responsibility in me because I used to follow her directions to the letter. Like she said, being in bed at 9, I remember being on the sofa with my sister. It's 8:59. We watching the clock. Soon as it's like 8:59, 59, 9 o'clock, all right, it's time to go to bed, right? And so, I just followed those directions. But as I became a young man, and I started to get into sports and playing basketball, my mom never really came to any of my games because she was always working. And so I might have played basketball for a decade, and she probably came to 4 or 5 games. I know I can count it on one hand. And, as a kid, you want your mom to be there. You want her support. But I also understood because she had to provide for my sister and I. Yeah. And so, when people start talking about go to college, get a degree, get a job, I never bought into that because the people that I saw, one, y'all not really happy with your jobs. You don't really have the time to do what you really want to do with your life, right? And so it's like, man, I'm not buying that. I can't buy that formula for success because it just doesn't look that great to me.
Right.
And so I did go to college because I played college basketball primarily, and I was always really smart, but I never had like an end game to get a degree and work for somebody else. And so, my senior year was summer, going into my senior year. I was dating this young lady, and her dad, he was an entrepreneur. And I was actually down in New Orleans working a part-time job in the summer because I never really worked a job because I played basketball. I didn't have time. And he had a book called How to Start Your Own Corporation. And it was in the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series by Robert Kiyosaki. But I think his lawyer wrote the book, though.
Right.
And before that, sometimes the kids, when you're in school, you don't really get into reading until you find something that you're interested in reading. And before that, like school books, it would beat it. But that business book, I picked it up. It's probably a couple hundred pages, and I could not put it down, Elon. Wow. And after I read that book, I was like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't know what I'm going to sell. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I want to be in business for myself. Like, this is the move. I want to work a job.
I can do me.
Exactly. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but this is the plan right now.
Cool. So having had that type of experience, tell us a little bit about, now that, you are a dadpreneur, what do mom and dadpreneurs have to look forward to?
Man, I think the biggest thing is, say if you're excited about being a parent, that you get to be involved in your kid's life anytime you want to. So like my son now, he's hit the honor roll 3-4 times in a row. And every time he has a presentation or ceremony, I'm there. It's like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. I can go. I clear my schedule. I go. Nobody can tell me what I can't do. I don't got to hear about it when he get home from school. Like I'm there. I'm front row with the camera. He see me. He walking. I'm celebrating. And so it's just like that's his experience. That's all he knows. It's like, man, if I got something important to me, my dad is there.
Right.
So I think if I had to sum it up into one thing, that would be the biggest thing. Just being able to be there.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
The reason why we have children is to spend quality time with them.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, because of the bills, we don't get the opportunity to be able to do that.
Right.
So with that in mind, let's get a little bit to the stuff that people want to know about, because people may want to do what you do. They may want to become an online marketing expert. So what made you gravitate towards that particular field? And more importantly, how are you helping just average, typical, mortar type of brick and mortar type of businesses, achieve success online?
All right. So the first thing, why did I gravitate to it? So when I was in college, Facebook was just getting really hot. And so this was like that year was like 05, 06. It had just probably came out 04, 05, and it was picking up steam. And I remember when it rolled out to my college that I was in. And now they don't tell you like the back end of Zuckerberg's story and how he was programming since he was 8 years old. And I think when he was a teenager, he had an opportunity to sell a program that he made to Microsoft for $1 million. Like they don't tell you that.
Wow. I didn't know that either.
They don't tell you none of that backstory. So me being totally green, I'm saying, oh, this little white kid started this social networking site. It's popular. He got $500,000 from some investors. I can do this too. So like my first business online, I was starting a sports social networking site. As a basketball player, I know sports.
Okay.
And that was like my first thing. And I didn't know at the time because I was totally green to hiring programmers and developers and all of that. But I remembered I worked that summer. No, actually, I borrowed that money from my mom. Thanks, Mom. My mom gave me like $10,000 to start that business. Wow. I paid the program in Australia like $7,000, which was, man, I mean, I was sweating bullets, Elon. Like sending 7 G's to somebody in Australia through it was Elance at the time to build a site for me. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I did it. I pulled the trigger. And I know now that the programmer knew the development that he created wouldn't do what I needed it to do.
Okay.
But he took my money and he built me something, But so yeah, that was my first time getting into it. And so quickly I found out that, all right, if you build it, they won't come.
Right, especially online.
Yeah.
Take that hit, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Just because you doing something don't mean nobody coming. So I quickly nothing happened. And like I was like, okay, I got to get good at marketing. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I took a part-time job at, I think I was working at Brooks Brothers selling suits at the time. And I never had a job more than like 6-7 weeks. Mm-hmm. And, but this particular day though, the bookstore next to the suit store, Brooks Brothers in the mall, was going out of business. Mm. And I walked in there and like, I got all of these marketing books, like literally for pennies, dollars. And I bought like 30 books. I mean, so this is how I got exposed to Dan Kennedy. This is how I got exposed to Perry Marshall. And I got exposed to, these are guys, I didn't know anything about any of these people at the time. Who's some of the other godfathers? Claude Hopkins, My Life in Advertising. And just reading all of these books. And you start to see like how deep the rabbit hole goes with marketing, how important it is and the skill sets you need. And so after getting into like just Dan Kennedy and the Perry Marshalls and Claude Hopkins, Robert Collier's, all of these guys who study copywriting. And I mean, these are like the originators of thought on a lot of this marketing stuff, especially Hopkins and Robert Collier. I mean, these guys are doing, they talking about launching campaigns for Goodyear tires or Pepsi toothpaste back in like the early 1900s when these are household names now. Mm-hmm. They writing the first direct mail campaigns for these companies. And like I fell in love with marketing and I understood the power of, persuasion with the written word, especially online where you don't have like that personal one-on-one touch like you would if you're talking to somebody on the phone or if you're selling to them in person. And so I started to practice copywriting. Okay. And yeah, I got really good and I got skilled at that. And after I did that, like that's when I started to like make sales and kind of make money online. I had transitioned into another business. I started my own supplement company. And I put out some direct mail ads in magazines, newspapers. Google AdWords is still really cheap. And so I was just trying things. And like for me, it's been an interesting journey because like I said, I never had a job more than 7 weeks. So I would always work a job just to get the money I needed, like for my advertising.
Got it.
I would quit. So I'm like the worst employee ever. Like,
don't let them know that now.
Yeah, 7 weeks, 7 weeks. I got 5-6 grand. I'm quitting. I'm putting this into my ass for my business. So like that was like my thing. So yeah, that's how I got started like online, and that's how I got into marketing, understanding the power of marketing and just like what you need to do to drive sales in the business.
Now, with that said, how could you help a new person get into hiring you as far as a client base to help them get more exposure online and get their online presence really out there?
Yeah. So my first thing, if somebody, what's the last part?
To sell their products and services.
Yeah. So my first thing, if someone is brand new to marketing online, I always try to tell people, well, depending on what you're trying to do, but I tell people to learn how to sell though. Because it don't matter if you're doing e-com, if you're trying to sell info products, if you want to get into physical products, like, man, there's a level of, you have to learn the art of persuasion. You have to learn how to, even if it's e-com and it's on Amazon, like, man, your copy got to be better than everybody else's, or your image has to be more appealing. And so these are like persuasion and sales tactics that you have to learn to be successful. And so what I try to typically get people to do, let's say somebody come to me with, they got no money, they have no experience, and they want to get started making some cash a day. Like what I tell
everybody that's online right now, so they really want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, because that's why I started. And that's like, I think that's one of my gifts is to create money and wealth out of thin air. And so if you got no money, if you just get started, I teach people how to sell your ideas before you create it. Because you don't need, like one of the things I agree with you on, we talked about was like, you don't need your own money to get started, but you need some money, right? And so your pockets can have lint turned inside out. But if you learn how to sell an idea before you have to invest into manufacturing the product, you can get the money that you need to create the product. You can get the money for your marketing and everything. So for example, my first book, when I helped my friend and client, Mike Canis, we did a product launch for his Traffic Guidance 2.0 software, and it did $1.8 million in 7 days. Now, backstory, before I started working with Mike, I was broke. And I wrote, because I was good at copywriting, remember I've been studying that, I wrote a letter to 19 millionaires who had internet businesses because that's what I wanted to do.
Wow, nice.
And so in 19, the number is 19, very specific reason, because I only had 19 stamps. Like I had no money.
I thought it was something metaphysical, numerology.
Yeah. 19, that's it. 19 stamps, baby. These got to work. And so Mike, he responded, and I was going to work for him for free just to be his apprentice. But he was so impressed with my ability to my copywriting and to get him to respond. Right. And so Mike, he's done $12 million product launches in a row at the time. So he's probably done more now. And so he's big dog. I was going to do it for free just to learn. So he ended up paying me $10 an hour, one, to learn and to help him out. Right. Yeah. So I wasn't making any money, but I would have did it for free, though.
I hear you.
Yeah. And so doing that, helping make the 1.8 in 7 days, I still ain't have a lot of cash to do my book the way I wanted to. I'm working $10 an hour. I got all these skills, these marketing skills, but I'm learning from a guru. And, side note, the education is more important than the money in a lot of times, man.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I want everybody to take note of that because always people focus on the bottom line is making money. And sometimes the wealth, I always say knowledge is power, but financial knowledge is profit.
Absolutely, man.
Focus on the bottom line. Sometimes you got to do it for free in order to get the abundance to come to you. So great point. I appreciate that.
You get the opportunity to learn from Elon or myself or somebody else that you have your sights set on. Man, offer the work for free. Offer them value first. Figure out how you can help them because we all need help. We all got problems. We all need stuff that we need solutions to. Take action. Do it first. Do it free. Don't worry about the money. The money will come. So like I said, he was only paying me $10, no money. So when it was time for me to write my book, it's like, all right, I knew I had the skills to do something. And I found a client who had the assets. Let me put the campaign together. I knew I could produce some money. And so we did that. And now I was like, I want to write a book about this. So my pockets was still kind of light though. Right. And so now to bring the story back home, before I wrote a single word of my book, I got on the phone, I started selling it. $20 a pop.
There you go.
I made $3,500 in pre-sale orders. I ain't even wrote a word. So now I got to deliver the book.
Now you got to do the book.
Yeah, exactly. Which I like to have that fire under my butt.
Right.
I got this money. My credibility and who I am is important to me, my reputation. So I'm going to deliver the book. Mm-hmm. But the point is, though, like I didn't have any cash to do it, but I sold it first. Mm-hmm. And so if you're getting started online, man, if you don't know anything about ads, you tight on cash, man, you get good at writing emails, get good at getting on the phone, talking to people and talking to your customers. It's more persuasive and it's more powerful. And at any moment in time, no matter how much you're struggling, you can make some money. You just got to find a market that needs what you want to offer, sell it first, then create it, and you're good to go.
Now, this is a real important question because I find this to be a challenge with everybody. Mm-hmm. It's like you're saying a 4-letter profane word when you say sell. So they're selling their soul, they're selling out. They're afraid to do that. Why is that, Suresh? And what would you tell these people in order to get to the next level? Because I know about making it, you have no option. Everybody sells themselves at some point. Even Oprah sells themselves. Warren Buffett selling himself. Everybody has to sell themselves. Even the owner of Facebook is selling himself. You have to be in the sales business. Absolutely.
Well, the first thing is it's the fear, right? It's the mental fear. And in my experience, talking to people about it, and I had this too when I first started, so I'm not holier than thou. I had fears around sellings, right? And the first thing is people have that fear of rejection. So you got to learn and understand that if you're trying to sell something to someone and they don't want it, they're not rejecting you. They just don't want what you're selling.
Yes.
Which is fine.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's not a personal rejection, right? They just don't want or need what you're selling. So it's totally cool. Move on to the next prospect. The second thing is we always selling, just like you said. Whether something as simple as talking to your friends day to day and you trying to sell them on your ideas to where you're going to go get dinner. Right? You're selling. So we do it. So get comfortable with the art of persuading people to do it. The only thing difference now, we ask somebody for some money. but we always sell it. Kids, they selling to your parents. They're trying to sell you on what to do after school. They're trying to sell you on what's for dinner tonight. They try to sell you on, can I play video games? Can I stay up 30 more minutes? Like we always selling and persuading every single day. But it seems like people get tight around it, when it's time to ask for some cash. So, I think, and the other thing with selling what also helps me, after you overcome those mental blocks and understand it's not a personal thing, and you understand that you're selling yourself all the time, no matter where you are, who you meet, when you're talking to people. The third thing is having a plan. Because when I always go into sales situations and they're very scripted, everything else is scripted. When you practice things, you get good at things. And so when you go into a sales presentation, in my experience, when you are prepared to talk to someone, you're prepared to handle objections, you're prepared to emphasize the benefits of why they need your product and service. It gives you a confidence that you don't have when you're absent that preparation.
Wow, absolutely awesome. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about, because we're talking to a lot of dadpreneurs.
Okay.
It is not a very popular. Everybody appreciates and respects mompreneurs.
Okay.
Dadpreneurs are rare breeds.
Okay.
So can you talk to some dadpreneurs in regards to, the responsibility of doing it? That is still cool. A lot of dads are if they're at the PTA meeting, they're probably the only dad there.
Right.
And why don't you have a job, type of thing. People scorn it like, you're slacking type of scenario. So what encouragement or advice would you have for dadpreneurs that are out there right now?
Man, first thing, dads, man, we need you guys. Me, I grew up single parent mom, didn't have a dad around. Luckily enough that I played sports, so I did have positive male influences.
Wow.
I did not have a dad in the home. And so, man, as a, young boy, and now I still consider myself young, I'm a young man. Like I know what it's like to not have a dad around, so dadpreneurs, we need you guys, man, to figure out how to create your own income, figure out how to create your own wealth. Watch shows like this, what Elon is doing live. I love the live format. Something I'm gonna implement in my business. But man, you got to take this advice, take this information and apply it. And the best thing that you can do, for yourself and for your family is make the most of yourself. Create income where you have it passively, where you can spend more time with your family, spend more time with your kids, spend more time with your wife. and really nurture those relationships and give them what they need, man. And, I won't knock anybody's job. Like, we all got to kind of hustle how we hustle, but look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, is this the best that I can do? Am I maximizing my life right now? Am I happy with my life right now? And the answer is no, right? If you want to spend more time with your wife, you want to spend more time with your kids, then you got to make some changes. So, being an entrepreneur, man, it's the best life. It's eat what you kill. I love it. If you can't get excited about that, man, I don't know. But we need you guys. We need you guys to step up and really start to create wealth and legacies, man, that we can pass down for generations.
Okay, and with that in mind, let's say someone does, like right now, a lot of our dadpreneurs, they're still employed. So, okay. So do you suggest that they start off on a part-time basis? While they're, when they're at work, they do their work, but then when they're on their own time, they segue some time into segueing from employment into an entrepreneur experience or becoming.
Yeah, great question. Very tough question for me to answer because I don't have the experience of having that safety net of employment. Mm-hmm. I ain't never had a job really. I never had that. So for me, I'm gonna answer it two ways. The first thing, my experience, I like that I went through an experience where I only ate what I killed. Because now I had some years of struggle. I had some lean years doing it that way. But now my mentality and the confidence that I have, knowing that I can overcome any situation. If I ever found myself penniless, it's like, dude, you done been broke. You dug yourself out of that hole. You can do it again. Mm-hmm. There's a power that comes with that kind of experience and just putting yourself through that kind of fire. Mm-hmm. Now, contrasted from what I hear about people who try to make the journey from employment to entrepreneurship, Elon, they still got that safety net. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times, again, from what I hear and my friends who've done it this way, they don't really go as hard as they should, though.
Yeah, right? That's the only problem.
I'm making 50, 60, 70K a year, whatever it is. If I don't do nothing tonight with my business, I'm good. I'm cool. I ain't got no problems. Me, if I don't execute right now, you ain't eating, literally.
Right, exactly.
And so just my attitude is different, but I think it really just depends on your risk tolerance. Mm-hmm. When you get older, I don't think it would be responsible of me to tell people to just quit their job and dive in full time. Because, man, there's so many different things that you got to learn. The first thing I would do before I did anything is find a mentor who's doing exactly what I want to do and invest into their courses, programs, whatever. I would do that. That's the very first thing I would do. Because one of the things that took me as long as it did was because I was trying to figure stuff out on my own. Right. And it's I got all of these books back here. I got books and books and books and books. I got bookshelves all over my home. I was trying to read the books myself. And it's cool to read books. But what's even cooler is having a millionaire show you how to do it.
Yes. The copycat of success, right?
Exactly. That's a lot cooler. So that's the first thing I would do. But yeah, you gotta assess that your tolerance. You got to assess your responsibilities with your family. If you're married or something, how supportive is your partner going to be in this journey? So, it's a lot of things that I don't feel comfortable giving people advice on because I ain't lived that life.
Right. I understand.
But if you can't find a job and you hate your job right now and it's really cutting off years of your life and it's adding stress to it, you ain't got nothing to lose. Quit, right? And start your business. But find some mentorship and just get to it.
Yeah. And one thing that I would share with everybody, one of the things that I recommend for people to do is, number one, do exactly what Suresh was talking about. Find a mentor, take the courses. And let's say you're doing something and you focus on what is the income that you need to make on a monthly basis that's sustaining you right now with your job. And if you can meet that income consecutively for 6 months straight, when you get started doing what you're doing, then you can possibly segue out into a new occupation. You got your emergency funds, et cetera, in case anything happens. And you have also a success proven system already in place for you. And then you can say sayonara and fire your boss and hire your kids thereafter, So I highly recommend that you do something like that. But one of the things I will say, this too. And this is really important because Sureshs is right. We had to be dramatic. We had to put ourselves, I had to be homeless. The other diva we interviewed yesterday, she got fired from her job. She had no other options, to take. So one of the key things that I recommend is I want you to think about plan A, B, C. What's your exit plan if you lose that job?
Yeah.
Because there is no security in any job, okay? No. The boss is not going to fire himself. That's why we're our own bosses, because we know we're not going to fire ourselves. Right. But no job is safe and secure. And statistically wise, it's been proven of late that the average person is going to change their job at least 3 to 4 times before they retire. Those good government jobs and corporate jobs that you can have for 30, 40 years, they're obsolete, they're extinct, they don't exist anymore. So you got to really be prepared for that reality that if you were to lose your job, if you were to let go, what's plan B? What's plan C? And if you don't have one, well, we're already here to tell you, you got to have something on the line, a side gig. Also, the interview we did yesterday with Tawana, that's what she said. She worked, had a job, but for 10 years straight, she had a side gig on the side. So she did have it, but it still wasn't quite enough. Unfortunately, it was when she lost her job, she started putting all her energies into it. And lo and behold, she started creating 6 and 7 figures that she needed in order to sustain her lifestyle for herself and her family. So we're trying to say to you, look, it's inevitable. There's no safety and security in any job like they pretend to give you, especially in 2017. So we highly recommend this is the best time for you to start looking into something and take it seriously in regards to what your future is concerned, because your life is going to probably depend on it.
Can I say this, Elon, just to really obliterate that security myth? Ask yourself this question, because some people think they have security in their job, right?
Yeah, a lot of people do. That's why they have them.
Ask yourself this question. If at any given moment, can someone else cut off your income stream?
Wow.
If that answer is yes, you don't have security.
Wow.
If at any given moment you can get fired and not be making any money, there's no security in that. You don't control that, right? So eliminate that fallacy of, or the myth rather, that I have security in my job. I got benefits. I got 401k. I got this and that. Man, you ain't got nothing, because if they decide one day we don't want you, you underperforming, somebody's better than you. And you've been here 20 years. These new kids, they tech savvy. You old. We done with you. You done. Yeah. And so there is no security in that. The only security you have is creating your own income so you can really control your own financial future.
Woo! We are going to end on that positive note. I loved it, and that is absolutely correct. Oh, wow. Absolutely fantastic. Sureshs May, what we're going to do is I want you to share with them how individuals can contact you. We will provide that information, ladies and gentlemen, on the pajamamomma.com website. So you'll be able to retrieve that a little bit later on. But please provide them information on how they can contact you and also purchase your books. Awesome. And so that we can make sure everybody else grows and become dadpreneurs just like you.
Yeah, if you want to contact me, you can go to wealthweekly.com. Matter of fact, if you want to hit me up directly, you got a question, I know many people, they won't take action and do it. I give you my personal email address. You can email me. It's sm@wealthweekly.com. Again, that's sm@wealthweekly.com. You can hit me up, ask me a question. I love entrepreneurs. I've been there, had nothing, got all the questions, had my answers. So, it's I have to give back and help you back. If you want to get a copy of the book, you can go get a free copy. Just pay shipping and handling. Go to wealthweekly.com/free book. Again,
wow, I'm going to put that down for you right now.
Okay.
It's right down into the box. I think I did that.
wealthweekly.com/free book. One word, FREEBOOK. You can get a copy of my #1 bestseller, How to Create Lifetime Customers, which shows you exactly how to get started online and, how I did a $1.8 million product launch in 7 days. So you can get the blueprint and dissect that. So it's a great book. People love it. #1 bestseller. And this is fun, man. I like this. I see the chat coming up on the screen.
We got some questions for you. So let me ask you, this is one. Shakti, she has a question. My girl, I'm a lifelong entrepreneur, but my husband is not. Okay. We've had 3 layoffs in 10 years. Wow. How can I encourage him to fire his boss and hire his kids? Thanks, Shakti.
Man, he keep getting fired from his. I mean, it sounds like it should be an easy sell. Like, man, this ain't working out, right? But I think one, I would play this back to him. But if you want to try to encourage him, maybe share what I shared with you on this recording. Just tell them, like, man, there's really no security. And, we got 3 layoffs, 10 years. At any given time, like, people are cutting off our income. We got to do something different, right?
Let me ask you this question. Can we share with them? I know you're having your event that you have, I think, on a monthly basis, because she's located in Atlanta area.
Oh, yeah. Go to.
And maybe even more importantly, bring him there to see you live and in color, in action.
Absolutely.
Able to give him some pointers, and more importantly, set up a really nice consultation with Suresh so he can help him make the transition too. That's a great idea, I think.
Yeah, definitely. She can go to wealthweekly.com/apply. Actually, you in the local Atlanta area. I got this really hot video. It's not up on there yet, but we got an application page up. But it's just for the Wealth Weekly Live group, what we're doing in Atlanta. So Wealth Weekly Live, and we're going to have Elon come as a guest as well. I do the Wealth Weekly show where I interview millionaires and billionaires to get them to talk about how they build their businesses. And so what happened, my guests, they were loving the show. And they was like, man, Suresh, why don't you bring these people in person? Oh, it's apply. Apply, not application.
Oh, application.
Yeah, it's apply.
Let me change that.
Hey, we live.
Wealth Weekly.
/apply. APPL.
Right, /apply.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, let me reiterate that you can go to that website and you can apply. And what Suresh is going to do, and his team is going to invite you to one of their live events that they have on a monthly basis to help empower you and educate you on how you can develop your own online and offline business success.
Yeah, so that's exactly. So with Wealth Weekly Live, essentially, I'm bringing in my millionaire and billionaire friends to come connect with entrepreneurs in the Atlanta market right now. So there are 3 main parts that we do to this live event. The first thing, if any of you listening have ever been to a networking event, you know how it is to go there, pass out business cards, but then nothing ever really manifests from those relationships. Mm-hmm. And so what we do, you apply, either me or someone on my team, we screen you, we talk to you, we learn about your business, your goals, and want to see if we can help you. And if we can help you, when you come to a Wealth Weekly Live event, we either pair you or group you with people who can actually help you have a business breakthrough. So you don't have to come and try to figure out who's in the room, who I need to talk to. It's like, hey, what was your first name?
Her name is Shakti.
Shakti. Hey, Shakti, we know you need XYZ. We know you're trying to convince your husband to do this. Maybe we pair you with a dadpreneur who took the plunge from, working a job to being an entrepreneur full time, so you can get that real insight from someone who's actually done it, right? Okay. The second thing we do is we do what's called a hot seat. And this is actually my favorite part of the event. So Shakti, if you can imagine, you're an entrepreneur. Imagine yourself being in a room full of other entrepreneurs who are doing things. They got revenues in their business. They're actually taking action, getting stuff done. And some multimillionaires. And you had the opportunity to share your biggest business problems and challenges in front of this entire room. Like, you can just imagine the breakthroughs that you will have when you leave there. And so that's what we're doing with the events, man. We're having an absolutely wonderful time. We put them on monthly, and it's invitation only. So, if you're interested in joining, go to wealthweekly.com/apply. And I would love to either me or someone on my team will talk to you and meet you in person.
That sounds, see, I'm glad we extended it longer than we had anticipated, because that was really important information. So, ladies and gentlemen, Suresh is here local in Atlanta, Georgia area. He does have wealthweekly.com. I put it several times inside of the box. Don't do the application one. That's the wrong one. Definitely connect with him and get some direct experience. Because I do love online, but it's nothing like the personal touch of offline interacting with people. So that's one caveat that he offers to the community. And Suresh, thank you so much. I knew this was going to be a great show, but it just really was off the top. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I want all the dadpreneurs out here to see if Suresh can do it, you can do it too. Okay. Yeah. That in mind, please contact Suresh May. We'll have it on the pajamamomma.com site. We're going to forward this information in a matter of a couple of minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, like we always say, spread the love by spreading the word, and you spread the wealth. And with that in mind, we'll see you over the top. And more important, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you at the gate. Ching, ching. Bye for now. Thanks, Suresh. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. You too.